How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So on this video, I'm going to be going over common issues on the 13 to 17 9th generation Honda Accord. This one's going to be V6 specific, so this car comes in with 3 different engines. I'm going to do a different video for all of them, so be on the lookout for those videos if you do own one or plan on buying one in the future. So like I said, this one is V6 specific, and some of the stuff will apply just to the V6 stuff. Some of the stuff will be 4-cylinder and V6. Some of them will be certain years. So anyways, we'll get started. So Honda rotors, they warp fairly easily, the front ones in specific. So if you have any Honda, chances are at some point you've had a steering wheel shake while braking, and that's due to your warp rotors, and they're just undersized. And a simple fix, but it is something that is super common. Another thing on these cars, these headlights have nice LED strips over here, the 16 to 17 years. So Honda made a bulletin because there was an issue with them and they fell prematurely, and essentially it'll be nice and bright over here on the corner, and as you approach the front of the light, they end up fading out. So if you have the issue, you'll definitely be able to tell. Once again, it'll be nice and bright in the corners and then dulls out in the front right over there. So another V6 specific issue is the VCM solenoid right over here ends up leaking on the alternator and damaging the alternator. At that point, you need the alternator and the solenoid. As you can see, this one's already sweating a little bit, as we call it, so I did recommend it at this time. This car's got 180,000 miles, so not bad at all, but you want to get to it before it causes any further issues. So once again, I did recommend it, and the guy will come back when the part is here, because it's out of stock at this time. Another thing is, you can see the starter here is new, and when you replace these starters on the 13 to 16 V6 Accords and some cross doors, you have to rotate the torque converter on the flex plate. The engine has a tendency to stop at the same spot a lot of times, and when the starters are bad, they wear out the gear on the starter and on the other end. So if you leave that in the same spot, then you will have the same issue and damage the new starter. So that's just a service bulletin that they have. Also a service news or something along like that. Moving on, these cars have a high fail rate of the timing belt tensioner, and that goes right in here. Essentially, when you start the car, you'll hear a loud knocking. It'll be not so bad initially, then it'll get louder as it wears out, and then as the car warms up, it'll progressively go away up until where it's extremely bad. Then it's going to make noise regardless. So something else you guys want to keep an eye out for. And the time belt, we usually recommend between 90 or 100,000, but we're seeing them fail before that. So again, something you want to be on the lookout for. We also have the oil pumps leaking on these, so it's going to be hard to show you at this point, but usually if you see oil around your oil filter housing or your oil filter when you're changing it, like this one, the oil pump is starting to leak, and that's a massive job and should be done at the same time of the time belt. A lot of the same work is involved. You don't want to do the time belt, then have to go back and pay extra labor. So just something to keep in mind as well. The transmission fluid on these V6s, and this is again across all Honda 6 speeds automatic transmissions, they wear out real quickly and they burn, and they end up causing a trans judder. So you're driving down the road maintaining speed, and all of a sudden the car starts to buck like this. And again, as the fluid deteriorates more, it gets worse and worse and worse. So eventually we have to do 3 times trans service, 3 drain and fills, you're driving in between, etc. And some of them have a PGMFI update if it hasn't been done already. So again, if you have one of these, just make sure you change the fluid every 15 to 20,000 miles or so. I made several videos on this already, so if you're interested in finding out exactly how to do it, I do have a couple videos on it. Another thing that we're seeing, and again, there's some other issues, but this is majority of the stuff we're seeing. We are seeing some backup cameras failing, and the screen, when you put in reverse, will be light up black up top, but you'll see the lines displayed. So the camera just has failed, and you just have to replace the camera, and that is good to go. But we are seeing a decent amount of those at this time. This is one of my favorite generations. Honestly, I had a 15 Sport and I loved it, but like anything else, they all come with some sort of issues. These rims are also stolen a lot. People don't like to work hard for their stuff. They'd rather just take other people's hard-earned money and their stuff. So unfortunately, these rims do get stolen. They also bend very easily due to the nature of the size. So we have a lot of people complaining about you know, vibrations while driving, etc., stuff like that. So that's gonna be about it for this car. Once again, I'm gonna be making a video on the 4-cylinder and the hybrid versions as well. So those have a couple different issues at, you know, at the time that we're seeing. So once again, if you're in the process of buying this car or possibly thinking about trading up or whatnot and seeing what kind of long-term costs you might run into, I think this video will benefit a lot of you guys out there. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos just like this one.